You know the exact feeling. You're sitting at a table, the conversation gets slightly deeper than usual. The atmosphere feels safe, and you let your guard down. You open your mouth and you share something incredibly real. You talk about your massive ambitions, a painful failure, or a deep insecurity you have been wrestling with. In the moment, it feels like connection. It feels like liberation. But the next morning, you wake up staring at the ceiling, and a cold, suffocating wave of anxiety hits the pit of your stomach. It is the vulnerability hangover. You suddenly realize with terrifying clarity that you did not build a connection. You handed over live ammunition. Modern society aggressively pushes a highly destructive lie. They tell you to be completely authentic. They tell you to be transparent, to wear your heart on your sleeve, and to bleed openly in front of the world so people can relate to you. But the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche would look at your emotional transparency and call it what it actually is: absolute strategic suicide. Nietzsche warned that the vast majority of people, the herd, do not actually want your authentic truth. They want your weaknesses. They want your flaws. They want to see your bleeding wounds because your struggles validate their own stagnant lives. When you reveal the deepest parts of your psychology to people who have not earned the right to hold that information, you are not being brave. You are willingly stepping into an invisible psychological cage. Today, we are locking the door. We're going to explore the brutal necessity of strategic silence. If you want to maintain your absolute psychological sovereignty and build a life of genuine power, these are the 7 things you must immediately and permanently stop telling people. The very first thing you must violently protect in the dark is the sheer scale of your ultimate ambitions. When you tell a stagnant person about a massive, life-altering goal you are about to pursue, your brain releases a cheap, premature hit of dopamine. You feel the satisfaction of the achievement without having done a single ounce of the actual work. But you trigger something deeply sinister in the person listening. You trigger their survival instinct. By declaring your intention to rise, you are subconsciously forcing them to look at their own refusal to climb. They will immediately disguise their insecurity as realistic advice. They will tell you the market is too saturated, the risk is too high, or that you are changing. They will systematically plant seeds of doubt in your mind, not to protect you, but to protect themselves from the painful reflection of your potential success. Let them assume you are average. Let them think you are playing small. Do not announce your empire. Let them wake up one day and realize they're standing in its shadow. The second piece of information you must immediately stop handing to your enemies is the map of your unhealed traumas and your deepest insecurities. Society tells you that speaking your pain is the only way to heal it. But outside of a highly trusted, tightly locked circle, your pain is nothing but a weapon waiting to be used against you. When you tell an opportunistic person exactly what makes you feel inadequate, what triggers your anger, or what keeps you up at night, you are literally handing them the remote control to your nervous system. You are telling them the exact precise coordinates to strike when they want to manipulate you, provoke you, or break your focus. Nietzsche believed in the will to power, the ultimate mastery over the self. You cannot be a master of yourself if the herd knows exactly which buttons to press to make you completely lose your emotional baseline. Swallow the pain. Do the heavy, silent work of integrating your shadow in private. Never bleed in waters that are infested with sharks. The third absolute secret is the exact timing and nature of your next strategic move. Never tell people what you are about to do. When you broadcast your pivots, whether it is leaving a toxic job, launching a new brand, or cutting off a manipulative friend, you invite the chaos of other people's opinions into a decision that requires absolute, ruthless clarity. Furthermore, you give the people who benefit from your current situation the time to prepare countermeasures. You give the toxic friend time to guilt trip you. You give the competitor time to adapt. Power always moves in silence. You must become completely unpredictable to the average observer. When you make a move, it should be swift, decisive, and already finished before anyone even realizes you have left the starting line. The fourth revelation that destroys your leverage is broadcasting your past resentments and your silent grudges. We all carry anger toward people who have crossed us, disrespected us, or sold us a lie. But when you vocalize your hatred for someone, you reveal where your vital energy is leaking. To tell people who you hate is to tell people who controls your mind. It shows the herd that you are easily consumed by the actions of others. Nietzsche warned against the poison of resentment. He viewed it as a slave emotion, an obsession with the master who wronged you. If someone is a liability, quietly, permanently cut them out of your reality. But do not talk about them. Erase their name from your vocabulary. Total cold indifference is infinitely more terrifying and powerful than loud, emotional anger. The fifth thing you must lock away is the exact architecture of your resources, your financial reality, and your internal metrics of success. Whether you are completely broke or quietly building wealth, the moment you put a numerical value on your life in front of the herd, their perception of you violently shifts. If they know you are struggling, they will view you with a suffocating, patronizing pity. If they know you are winning, you instantly become a target for parasitic attachment. They will expect your time, your favors, and your capital simply because you have it. Your numbers are the fuel for your operations, not a status symbol to be paraded in front of people who do not understand the sacrifices you made to acquire them. Keep them entirely in the dark. The sixth secret is the silent weight of your own virtue and your private sacrifices. If you do something genuinely noble, if you help someone, if you take the high road, if you absorb a massive loss to protect your family or your team, do not breathe a single word of it to the public. Nietzsche despised performative morality. He believed that the moment you demand applause for your good deeds, you instantly corrupt them. You reduce your strength to a cheap transaction for validation. Real, terrifying psychological power comes from knowing exactly who you are, knowing exactly what you have endured, and needing absolutely zero external validation to confirm it. Let your silent sacrifices forge your iron character in the dark. And finally, the seventh and most dangerous thing to verbalize is your true, unfiltered opinion of the herd itself. As you wake up, as you become disciplined, you will begin to see the pathetic, comfortable laziness of the average majority with crystal clarity. You will feel a strong temptation to act intellectually superior, to preach to them, or to openly mock their lack of ambition. Do not do it. Nietzsche warned that you must not pick unnecessary fights with the herd. You do not need to tell average people that you think they are average. It serves absolutely no strategic purpose other than stroking your own ego, and it paints a massive, unnecessary target on your back. The herd outnumbers you. Smile, nod, play their social games when absolutely necessary, and then quietly return to your forge. How do you master this? How do you overcome the biological urge to overshare? You must realize that silence is not emptiness. Silence is heavy, concentrated power. Every time you have the urge to reveal your plans, your pain, or your progress, and you consciously choose to swallow those words, you are building an unbreakable internal fortress. You stop leaking your energy into the void of public opinion. You become an enigma. People will project their own fears and assumptions onto you because you give them nothing to use against you. Stop trading your psychological sovereignty for 5 minutes of cheap conversation. Master the art of the unbothered, silent observer. Hold your tongue, guard your mind, and let the undeniable, deafening results of your actions do the talking.